think that's why there's so many people here today. My last memory would be for my 21st. He dedicated Star Star.
Glen Hansard's family announced details of public wake and funeral, and for a nation still reeling from the sudden loss of one of its most beloved musical voices.
Irish music community, the way he supported, I would know, I had friends of mine who he has supported, who's given stages to and shared stages to. And
this announcement finally gives grieving fans the clarity they've been desperately waiting for, a chance to understand exactly.
Flew in last night from The Hague in the Netherlands. Never met Glenn, but we spent a lot of time together through airports and in concert halls.
Exactly how, and where they can gather to say goodbye to a man whose music shaped so much of Ireland's cultural identity. According to the family's statement, a public wake will...
Well, I think he was so much more than a musician. He was a lovely person, all that he did for charity, and he thought about people, he cared about people. And
take place inside the historic Baroque Chapel at the Royal Hospital Kilmainham, allowing both close family and members of the public the rare opportunity to walk through, pause, and personally pay their respects before the more formal farewell scheduled to follow at Dublin's St. Patrick's Cathedral, a decision that reflects just how deeply intertwined Hansard's life was with the everyday people of his home city. The funeral itself has been confirmed for Tuesday, August 4th at 1:30 in the afternoon, with the family choosing St. Patrick's Cathedral specifically because of its historical and spiritual significance within Dublin, a fitting setting given the scale of public mourning that has unfolded since news of his passing first broke. Given the overwhelming number of mourners expected to attend, organizers have confirmed that seating inside the cathedral will be extremely limited, prompting plans for an outdoor public address system, so that the many fans unable to secure a seat can still hear every hymn, tribute, and prayer from just outside the cathedral walls, a logistical decision that speaks volumes about just how many people are expected to show up in person to honor him. Adding to the scale of this moment, the service is also expected to be broadcast through major Irish media outlets, ensuring that fans across the country and around the world who cannot travel to Dublin will still be able to witness the farewell in real time, a gesture that reflects both the national significance of his passing and the international reach his music achieved throughout his career. To understand why this loss has affected so many people so deeply, you have to look back at how Glen Hansard's story began, not on a grand stage, but on the streets of Dublin, where as a teenager he made the decision to leave formal education behind entirely in order to busk, performing for spare change long before any record label or Hollywood film ever recognized his talent. That period of street performing, often unpredictable and financially uncertain, became the foundation of his artistic identity, teaching him how to connect instantly and honestly with strangers through music, a skill that would remain at the very core of his songwriting and performing style for the rest of his life. His first major creative outlet came through fronting the band The Frames, a group that built a devoted following throughout Ireland during the 1990s and early 2000s, known for emotionally raw performances and Hansard's unmistakable voice, though broader international recognition remained elusive during those early years, requiring patience and persistence that would eventually pay off in an unexpected and deeply meaningful way. That breakthrough finally arrived when Hansard starred in and composed music for the low-budget Irish film, Once, a modest, intimate story about two struggling musicians that would go on to become one of the most beloved independent film successes in modern cinema, celebrated not for spectacle, but for the raw emotional honesty Hansard brought to every scene. The film's central ballad, co-written with his musical partner, eventually earned Hansard the Academy Award for Best Original Song, a moment that transformed him overnight from a respected Irish musician into an internationally celebrated artist, though those who knew him well say fame never changed his humility or his deep connection to the community that shaped him. In fact, Hansard became just as well known throughout Ireland for his tireless charitable work as for his music, particularly his long-running Christmas Eve busking tradition outside a historic Dublin theatre, an event that brought together some of Ireland's most celebrated musicians each year in support of people experiencing homelessness, a cause he remained devoted to for well over a decade. Beyond this charitable commitment, Hansard was also known for using his public platform to advocate for causes he believed mattered deeply, participating in demonstrations addressing Ireland's housing crisis, expressing solidarity with Ukraine following the outbreak of war, and joining public protests during earlier periods of economic hardship, reinforcing his reputation as an artist who never separated his music from his values. It is this combination of extraordinary talent and genuine humanity that explains why tributes have poured in from some of the most recognizable figures in music, film, and public life since his passing was first announced. with countless artists describing him as a mentor, a creative guiding force, and an irreplaceable presence within Ireland's music community. In the days following the announcement, spontaneous memorials began appearing across Dublin, with fellow street performers gathering to busk in his honor, a deeply symbolic tribute considering it was busking that first launched his own career decades earlier, transforming public sidewalks into makeshift spaces of remembrance filled with music, candles, and quiet reflection. As the details of the wake and funeral are now confirmed, his family has also shared a final, deeply personal request, asking that instead of flowers or gifts, mourners consider donating to causes reflecting Hansard's lifelong values, including a Dublin-based charity supporting people experiencing homelessness and a humanitarian organization providing aid to Ukraine, ensuring that even in his passing, his commitment to helping others continues to leave a lasting impact. As the day of the funeral approaches, the mood throughout Dublin remains a mixture of profound grief and deep gratitude, as the city prepares to say a final goodbye to an artist who spent his entire life turning raw emotion into music capable of connecting complete strangers across generations and cultures. Glen Hansard's legacy, built through decades of heartfelt songwriting, tireless activism, and an unwavering commitment to remaining rooted in his community despite international acclaim, ensures that his influence will not fade with his passing. And as mourners gather first at the historic chapel within Kilmainham's grounds and then at St. Patrick's Cathedral, his music and his generosity will continue to resonate for generations of fans who found something deeply personal in the honesty of his songs.